Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing a review of a very special book. About a month ago, my friend MJ at Reading This Life asked me if I would be interested in reading a book that was written by a friend of hers. And this is a book that was about to be published in January. Her friend is Brennan Morton, and his book is Valhalla Boys, Marine Recon Sniper in Iraq. I said that I would be interested in reading it, even though this type of book is kind of outside my realm of experience. And Brennan sent me this copy of his book. I will say at the outset that while I do read quite a few memoirs, I don't think I have read any military memoirs. The reason that I agreed to read Brennan's book and the reason that I'm reviewing it here today is that I had a number of students who enlisted in the military after September 11th, 2001. And that's what happened to Brennan as well. And I wanted to read Brennan's book as a way of honoring his experience and also that of many of my students. Brennan grew up, he writes early in the book, like many young boys, playing army, playing at being a soldier, and thinking that, he was going to become a soldier. But he didn't enlist right away. He didn't enlist right after high school. Rather, he went on to college. He studied at the University of New Hampshire. He describes early in his memoir how his literary heroes, Hemingway, Vonnegut, and Heller, how all of them served as a sort of, quote, siren song, calling him to the military, even as their writings were largely, trying to show the horrible effects of their war experiences. Like several young men that I have come to know over the years, Brennan perceived the attacks on the U.S. On September 11th, 2001, as a, quote, sign from the gods. And he finished college, traveled for a few months, and then enlisted in the Marines. About the first third of this memoir describes Brennan's training as a Marine. I found these chapters to be compelling and really powerful. You think you know about basic training. You don't know about basic training. Brennan writes in a most engaging way. His many, many tales of the process of becoming a soldier paint a vivid picture of what recruits experience in basic training. Not for the faint of heart. He describes his own transformation from one who joined the military, quote, with all the violence of a kitten in a box of yarn, into a true warrior. He writes with intelligence and grit and sometimes real humor as well. I ached for him as he described the challenges of his training, challenges that are hard for a civilian to imagine, I think. The first third of the book describes this preparation to become a Marine, while the rest of the book details Brennan's actual battle experiences in Iraq. Brennan's memoir came out of his sessions with a therapist at the VA after his time in Iraq. As one who taught writing for almost 40 years, I can attest to the well-documented effects of writing as a tool for healing of trauma and all kinds of emotional experiences. I really believe in the research that suggests that translating one's emotional experiences into words not only alleviates anxiety, but may actually change the way the brain is organized. That Brennan's book began as a therapeutic means of dealing with the trauma of unconventional warfare in Iraq makes perfect sense to me. Some of Brennan's book is very difficult to read. Some of it is violent, as you would expect. But I came away mostly feeling, first, this profound sense of sadness at what this young Marine and many other young soldiers, what they endured in Iraq. And I came away also with just an immense feeling of gratitude to him for his service. As I said, I don't tend to read many books about military experience, but I was definitely drawn to this man's experiences. I was drawn to his sense of humor. There are passages in here that actually made me laugh out loud. There are passages that are just really delightfully humorous and heartwarming. I was drawn to his story because of his sense of innocence lost. I was drawn to his deep sense of courage and a need to prove that he was enough, that he was brave enough, and I was drawn to his deep efforts to make sense out of the horror that he witnessed in combat. Some months ago, I started my series on books that I loved to teach. And one of the very early episodes that I did, it might have been my second episode, was about my experiences of teaching Tim O'Brien's novel, The Things They Carried. That book is a fictionalized version. It's a collection of stories that act together as a novel. But it's a fictionalized version of the author Tim O'Brien's experiences as a young soldier in the Vietnam conflict. If I were still teaching today, I would teach some episodes from Brennan Morton's book, Valhalla Boys, alongside episodes from Tim O'Brien's novel, The Things They Carried. Brennan Morton's book is just that good, and I was deeply humbled and most honored to read his story, and I hope that you will check it out also. And it's available where at all the major booksellers. And I'm going to put a link to MJ's wonderful interviews with Brennan in the notes below. And also a link to Brian at the Bookish Texan, to his channel. He has also read and reviewed this book. So, as always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.